Boop. So happy that you're here. So happy that you're here. I'm not sure why that is. Go away. There you go. Hello, hello. Healing vibes. Oh, upper respiratory. Blah. Healing vibes, healing vibes. I will also, even better or as good as healing vibes, to send you some great stuff to know about. Liposomal vitamin C. It is, I'm going to put in the chat, liposomal vitamins C. You can get it on Amazon. It is fabulous. It will cure. It makes everything go away faster. So liposomal vitamin C. Definitely check that out, Sharon, because I know I'm so excited to meet you in person on this coming weekend. So we got to get you healthy. I would hate to miss you. Liposomal vitamin C has been my godsend. Also, the other thing I really like is these gummies that are vitamin C and zinc, but you can also get them with echinacea and zinc, and those help a lot also. You can get them in gummies, you can get them in like chewables, but so take a look at those two. But that liposomal vitamin C has been a real like lifesaver for me. Hello, 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 everybody. Hello, everybody. I am very excited. Last night, I had the privilege of being part of the team to celebrate my friend, an amazing, amazing artist. Her name is Joanne Fink. I know we have a bunch of folks that follow here that are Jewish. Even if you're not, she's unbelievable. She's just absolutely incredible artist, and you can look her up. Put her name in the, actually, I think I can tag her. Can tag her? Joanne, no, maybe not. Hold on. Hold, please. Let me see. I know she sometimes checks in with us. No, I guess not. But that's her name, Joanne Fink. She's an amazing artist. She had a new book coming out. It was so excited to be okay, understand. Hey, look, you know your body. So vitamin C is something really important because our bodies always need vitamin C, but we can't make vitamin C and we can't store vitamin C. So having vitamin C on hand is always a good plan. So anyway, had the privilege of being part of this book launch last night. It was just such an honor, such a privilege to be part of it. Got to be part of it with my son, which was really amazing because this was people from all over the parts of our world that came together to celebrate this amazing artist. And there was a whole room of her work that you could see. Now, Joanna is also a grief educator like me, and she ran a widows group here in town for a long time before she moved away. She lost her husband too long ago. He passed very early, and it was just a privilege to be invited to participate in her widows groups as a medium and as a friend and as a grief educator. So last night to see all her different books and all her different artworks. Just really incredible and such an honor to be included, and to see so many people from such different walks of life and parts of our life here in Orlando, and met some folks from Boston. So a little shout out to my new friend Mitch Gordon, and who knows my beloved cousin Jerry, who I just absolutely adore, who's up in the Boston area as well. So a little shout out because I know she sometimes tunes in also. So just a little fun things. Sometimes it's really nice to do things that are out of the normal day to day. And I think that that's part of what I wanted to share today, or what I was asked to share today, was about things that are out of our normal day to day. Because, I've been seeing a lot of different messages coming through from other people that I follow, and messages coming through from people who tell me what they've been receiving. And on the one hand, there's folks who've been like, we have to push. This is the time to push through obstacles. This is the time to push through barriers. And this is the time to keep pressing. And it wasn't even political of where some of this was coming from, of pressing through. You've got to just keep on keeping on. And now I do believe that. I really do believe that we've got to keep on keeping on. But I also know there's a time to pause. And that was something that I was working on. I was working on my newsletter today. I was trying to get some guidance on how to explain when it's time to pause. And so maybe we'll talk it out here, because there are times when we feel like, and let me know if you have felt like this, if you feel like you have this idea, right? And you all hear me talk about this all the time, where things are not going to look like how you think they're going to look. And, you expect it's going to be one way and it turns out to be something else. And we have that initial response of like, that's not what I wanted, right? And sometimes we have like a bigger, and, that's not what I thought. But if we can stop and take a breath and just back it up, it could turn out to be something really great, right? And so I would love to hear if you can relate. So if you want to pop it in the comments, I would love to have a little more interaction today, because as I said, some of the more well-known mediums and seers and things that I follow, excuse me, there seems to be a split where some of them are are saying, we've got to push through. This is the time where the universe is providing resistance, so we've got to push it through. And that's just not resonating with me. And the thing that is resonating more with me is that pump the brakes, take a breath, and then zoom out. And so this is where I was talking about as I was writing my newsletter, which will come out usually toward the end of the month, was about pumping the brakes and taking that breath and zooming out. Because it's so easy for us to have these moments where we have that reaction, that knee-jerk reaction, or that place where we say, this is not what I wanted, so just forget it. I'm just going to walk away. And I'm guilty of that as well, where I have had the time where, I was trying to explain something to my partner or, somebody else. And I said, just forget it. It's not a big deal. Don't worry about it. Just forget it. Right. And we walk away rather than engage in what could be, frustration. And it blocks us from taking that breath. And, I know it's kind of seems obvious to say, but breathing is important. So when we have those places where we can take that breath and say, okay, breathe in, breathe it out. What is going on here? And sometimes it is just about waiting to see what's going to happen next. And, my son started a new job this morning, so I was very excited for him to start this new job. And he got there and he said, this is crazy. The head carpenter guy is like missing in action. He's been missing for a little while and we're not really sure what's going on. And nobody seems to know who's in charge or what we're doing. And I was like, oh, well, that's auspicious for a first day on a new job. And I could hear the kind of concern in his voice, like, what's going on? But by the end of the day, I spoke with him and he seemed so happy to, it all worked itself out. When I just said, listen, I texted him back and I said, listen, just take a breath and just pause and let them work their self out. And then you'll plug in and just It's okay. And that's really exactly what happened. And I think it's just one of those things that sometimes we forget when we're in the midst of a thing that it's okay for us to pump the brakes and just say, okay, I'm going to take a breath and I'm just zoom out a little bit to see, because we get, when we don't understand things, the thing we do is we kind of look in like, what is going on? I need to see what is going on. If I look closer, maybe I can figure it out, right? So when we have the ability to zoom it out and say, okay, let me just see this from a different perspective, we can often make a better decision or have a better reaction or a better way to move forward. And so I got this, from, of course, let me find it, from Kyle Gray. Where did I put this? I got this from, I thought I had saved some. Oh, let me just grab it out of my email. Had some, how much I love Kyle Gray's Monday emails. If you are not signed up for them, I think you're missing some wonderful things. So let me see where Kyle Gray's email was this morning. I meant to pull it up. I'm sorry. Oh my goodness. We're just a little bit disorganized, aren't we? There it is. Okay. So it was interesting because here's Kyle Gray, who's somebody that I really enjoy following, because if you follow me at all, you know that. I talk about him all the time. And here he was, this kind of one voice in the universe, in the ether, that was saying about pumping the brakes. And he said, right now, as much as it's there's things going on in the universe, that it is okay for us to take that deep breath and to just soften the shoulders and be assured about the divine timing of the universe. And indeed, if you have his messages, he sends an angel card on Mondays. And so the card that was in his email message today was about divine timing. And he said, this card arrives with reassurance that nothing is late, nothing is missing, nothing has been overlooked, that we are being held inside of a greater rhythm, one that is wiser than the urgency and kinder than the pressure that we get in our left brain, in our ego minds. And so it reminds us that as we are in this new year, remember we talked a lot last week about folding things into our lives, that we might be feeling eager for movement or clarity or pressure. Let's go, right? Let's get started. And why things haven't shifted yet. But the reminder of divine timing reminds us to trust the intelligence that is at work behind everything. There is an intelligence behind everything. There is no way for psychics to do what they do, for the cards to be eavesdroppers, for the mediums to do what we do without 100% belief that there is an intelligence that is behind us in all of these things. So if you're feeling eager for that movement or clarity and wondering why things are not, into this new year, just know that there is that intelligence that is behind the scenes, that is working for you and with you. But divine timing isn't about just standing around and waiting. Okay, that's not what divine timing is about. Divine timing is about you continuing to go forward in good faith and doing what you need to do the work that you have been given, so that then the universe can fold in these other things. And when your moment comes to spring into action, those doors will open very naturally to you, and it'll just feel very natural. Have you ever had the experience of wanting something to happen and having those moments where you think, I can't believe how this is falling right into place? Like, if we've talked about, my husband and I are going to Italy in May, and the plane tickets were going to be very expensive, and he looked to see where the cruise ship was going to be right before we were to get on it in Barcelona. And would you not believe that the cruise ship is going to be here in Central Florida? So we're taking the cruise ship across to Italy instead of flying, because one, I'm not a big fan of international flying, and two, it was the same price, two flights or a 12-day cruise with 5 more ports. That's, and it was so easy. It was just in the flow. And here's my awesome, fabulous cousin, Slicker Bigley, also known as Aleph. She says 2025 ended with a lot of stress and a lot of expenses. I will absolutely give you a call. I need no excuse or encouragement to call you, my darling. I love you so much. And thank you for tuning in today. My heart's so happy to see your name pop up. I was just thinking about you and your Alice's daughter is one of my favorite cousins. So different favorite cousin. I'm very lucky to have many. So strong, slightly crazy women in my life that are related to me. And I love that. So yes, I will absolutely call you later. Might be tonight. All right. So here we have this urge, this feeling of January that often tunes in to us that says, let's go, we gotta go, we gotta go. And if you're somebody who believes in resolutions and all that stuff, you might know that, this January 10th is Quitters Day, National Quitters Day. I guess that's the day when they figure everybody has quit their New Year's resolutions by now, is if you're gonna quit, you wait till the 10th and then you have Quitters Day. And so, I'm not a big fan of that kind of stuff. I think that puts a lot of pressure on ourselves. But I do like the idea we've been talking about folding new things into our lives. So, hey, Alice, why don't you give us, at your age, your ripe age, Alice is in the second half of her 80s, but you would never know it from how she acts. How would you want to give us a tip on how you handle some stuff, maybe a tip for we youngins. So we'll put that challenge out there. And so, I'm not a big fan of resolutions because I do think it puts a lot of pressure on us, but I am a fan of this folding new things in. So, and as I look at, how we're set up here today, I know I have not quite folded in the stuff that I'm still working on, but I'm working on it. So I'm looking forward to new things coming in the first quarter of the year. So let's check in with our archangels and see which archangel is following us today. And this is Charity, the pillar of service. Serve with a gracious heart and know that God is serving you. Now, I love this because it really aligns with what we were just saying about how things are not necessarily going maybe in the way that you had envisioned. And when that happens, it can be very easy to tap into that frustration. It can be very easy to tap into that place where we say, forget it, I don't want it, I'm not doing it, never mind, whatever. But here's Charity. This is, listen, if you serve with a gracious heart, then you never know what things are going to come back to bless you, right? We say how we put out into the world all that we would like to have come back into our own, because all that we put out into the world will come back into our own tenfold or 100-fold or 1,000-fold. Okay, so having that opportunity to put those things out there and to be of service to the world really allows us to receive that back. I had put a blog post recently that reminded me about how we are literally playing with the universe. And I don't mean playing like nanner, but how when we put something out to the universe is going to bring something back to us. Okay. And so if you're putting out positive, wonderful things, then guess what? And if you're not, then, guess what? So what are you putting out? And so it just says, serve with a gracious heart and know that God is serving you back. So when we're putting things out into the universe, we know that we're getting things back. Okay? And the more that goodness that we can put out into the universe, the more goodness we're going to receive back. I truly, truly believe that. I truly believe. So part of this blog post, I told the story of being an egg donor. I had actually been an egg donor three times. I didn't actually do it the third time, but we did twice. So 2.5. So we started the process with the third couple and we ended up not doing it. But the first time had been with a couple that ended up with twin girls. And they were so excited because they had worked with a different egg donor and had really had some problems kind of at the finish line. And so they were very, very shy about, working with me or anyone. And so they ended up with twin girls somewhere in California. And then we did it again and ended up with twin boys in Connecticut. And the kids are probably 26, 27 years old. And for the first 18 years of their lives, their mother was so generous as to send me pictures of them every year on Thanksgiving, to send me pictures to see how they were growing up. And it was absolutely fascinating to see how these boys looked like my children. I mean, and alternately, they were twins, not identical twins. And so alternately, one would look like more like my son, the other one would look more like my son. It was just absolutely fascinating. And then the thing that was just really miraculous about that whole experience is that when we started that journey after my first son was born, the one who just turned 28, and he, the first time that we had been an egg donor, we had about a dozen couples, friends around us that were having trouble getting pregnant. And the first egg donation that we did brought these two girls into the world. And at the same time, about 6 or 7 of the couples around us all became pregnant very, very quickly, like within a couple months. And then the second time we did it, all the rest of the couples got pregnant and nobody needed IVF and nobody needed anything. But it was just so interesting because my whole purpose in being an egg donor was to give something back to the universe, because my son, the 28-year-old, we had gotten pregnant very easily and we had a very, very scary delivery, but everything was fine. And I wanted to give something back to the universe. So when you put something out, pillar of service, when you put something out with good faith and a good heart, things are going to come back. Now, things didn't necessarily, those specific things, all those pregnancies didn't benefit me, but it did, in that it made our friends happy and gave my kids some people to play with. But other blessings came from it that were direct. But it's really fascinating. And so this is my latest blog post. You can scroll down. It's posted, or you can go to my website, Dworkin-Smith.com, and see, I think it's called Playing with the Universe. It's also on Medium, the writing platform Medium as well. And so you can check that out. So it's just a really amazing way that we work with the universe. Let me see if I can grab that link here to, let me see. Put the link in there for you. Playing with the universe. Here we go. We'll get you a link for that. You can all check it out. Where is the comments? You guys are like disappearing on me today. All right, here we go. All right, so let's see what else is going on. I love that picture too, because it's that's my grandma on the left, and that's her sister, my Aunt Dora, on the right. And my Aunt Dora is one of my guides to this. The minute she passed, she became one of my guides. Okay, so we have, this is surrender, and this is card number 48. Now, surrender goes right along with what we've been talking about allowing the universe to work with us and not feeling like we have to push through, that we have to hurry up, and we have to go. And if there's an obstacle, we just have to barrel our way through. No. Just relax and let the universe is working it out for us, and allow those things to play out. So we're surrendering. We're not giving up control. We're not giving up our autonomy, but it is about allowing. Okay. It is not about, like, if you ever watch The Big Bang Theory, where Sheldon Cooper decides he's going to live his life by the roll of a dice, and he makes all his decisions based on rolling the dice. That's surrendering control, surrendering autonomy, surrendering your decision making. Yeah, I know. I don't like it either. That's not what we're talking about. Okay, we are talking about giving up the need to control, giving up the need to know everything, giving up and accepting that there is something bigger going on, and allowing for that to develop. Okay. And so this is 48. And so 8 and 4 is 12. 19, yeah. And 12 and 1 and 2 is 3. Okay. And so you've heard me say about number 3 before, that number 3 is really about knowing that there's something more to be unfolded. There's something more to be discovered in the situation. There's more to the story. And so when we surrender, we're not giving up control or autonomy. We're simply allowing the universe to be a guide. We're allowing angels, guides, loved ones, and spirit to be a guide for us, to show us a better way. Instead of having our blinders on that says, this is what I want and this is where I'm going, to be able to say, well, what else is available in this situation? Can I take that breath? Can I zoom out and allow the universe to show me, look over there, and hey, look, there's something really amazing over there, and allowing the universe to show us something more. And that's where the surrender card is. And it really does go along with that charity card. It isn't about giving up our autonomy. It is about allowing for that collaboration with the universe. Chris, I just turned up my volume to see if that helps for you. The next card is action. And I think this is so interesting because here it's talking about first of all, this card is number 3, so no coincidences there. But at the same time, we're talking about now getting into motion, which we talked about before. We want to allow the universe to work with us and to collaborate with us, but at the same time, we're still going forward on our path, okay? We're still doing our work. We're still doing what we need to do. And we're allowing these things to go forward, okay? So this is, again, it's not, we have surrender, but we have action as well. Those things go together because we're taking the action that is right for us. We are having, in my family, we say, do the work that you've been given. Okay, we have a couple different sayings in my family. One of them is first you go and then you see. And that's what I told my son this morning. I said, look, first you go and then you'll see what's the situation with this job. But we also say, do the work that you've been given. So we get into action, even though we are allowing for the universe to collaborate with us. We're asking the universe to collaborate with us. We want the universe to collaborate with us. But we're, more importantly, allowing the universe to come in and be collaborative with us, okay? So we're taking the action and we're taking the steps, right? You ever heard that saying, God feeds the birds, but he doesn't throw the food in the nest? We have to do our part, right? We have to do the work that we've been given. At the same time, we don't, we're not sitting around waiting for God to show up. No, we're doing our part, right? So even though I haven't put into place the changes that I want to put in place here, not yet. I'm working on them behind the scenes so that then they'll be ready to blend in more seamlessly, okay? So there's not, surrender and action are not necessarily at odds, okay? And very interesting that they are both number 3s, okay? And then we have, and what else do we need to know? What else do we need to know? This is the card of faith. And if you look, she's stepped off the ledge. She's taken the leap. She says, I trust that I'm going to be, when we step off the edge into the unknown, we trust that one of 2 things is going to happen. Either something will be there to carry us, or we'll be taught how to fly. And she clearly is being taught how to fly. I would like to fly. That'd be really cool. So this is card number 20. So 20 reminds us, again, we're not alone. There's pairing, right? There's a pairing, which means someone, something is walking with us, is guiding us, is giving us support, guidance, companionship. Okay. It's like that blessing of footprints in the sand, right? We have those 2 sets of footprints, and then there was the one set of footprints is where we were carried, okay? Or maybe we're carrying someone else. Okay, maybe we're the one carrying. Okay, so we're never alone. We're never alone. And this is the reminder. This is, listen, trust us, surrender, and let us help guide you. But still, you got to do your part, right? But just trust that we're not abandoning you. We are absolutely with you. And I love this. What an amazing, what a beautiful configuration of cards. It's absolutely amazing. So, all right, let's check in with our Hebrew, English, Arabic cards, because that's, I think, so always so interesting to see how they incorporate in, right? And see what else is going on there. And then we'll grab some individual card readings for whoever wants. Okay, so we have forgiveness, right? And forgiveness is really important because slicha, actually. So this is really important because if we're holding on to all this other stuff, we can't carry any of the rest. We can't hear. We can't surrender. We can't hear clear guides to action. We can't collaborate with the universe if we're holding on to anger and frustration and negative energy. It's just weighing us down. So forgiveness becomes really important, that we are giving ourselves permission to let go. And that was one of the things we talked about as we were coming into this new year. What do we need to let go of that we don't have to keep carrying, right? Slicha, yeah. And then we have tranquility. Now, isn't that interesting, right? So we have slicha, forgiveness, and then we have, okay, Sharon, I'm not sure about that one. I know shalom is peace. Shloah, maybe tranquility. But how interesting that this is tranquility. So we have forgiveness and tranquility, because you know what? When you stop carrying all that crap around, you have peace in your heart. You have peace in your life. Okay, we cannot go forward in a life that is has momentum and creativity, and where we're on our path to creating something bigger and more and happier and higher vibration, and life-changing for us and for others if we are not willing to let go of the things, the stuff that we're still carrying, right? We don't have to excuse the behavior of people that may have done us wrong. I have sometimes you hear me talk about my former lifelong best friend, and I walked away from the relationship. It was me, and it was hard. And I think about her all the time. And I think about her daughters, my nieces, who I love, who hate me, and I adore them. And I will never not adore them. And there's nothing they could ever do that would make me not love them, even though I know they hate me. And that was the price that I knew I was going to have to pay. But I think about them all the time. I don't excuse the things that had happened, and I don't excuse the unwillingness of her mother to work it out, because their daughters have said to me, you know, if you want a relationship with us, you've got to work it out with our mom. And there just isn't a path there because there's no willingness to have that conversation. So I accept that. And I have let go of any anger or frustration or any of those things, but I wish them so much love. And so every time I think of them with love. I send love. I hope there's happiness. I hope there's only love. But if we were to have a conversation, we would need to address the actual issues that were there. And so I'm not forgiving, or I'm not excusing the behavior. I'm choosing, and the things that had happened, I'm choosing not to let that piece be important, okay? Because it doesn't change anything. I made the decision that was right for me and my family and my life to walk away. That was my choice. That wasn't her choice. I made that choice, and I stand by my choice. And so I can let go of all that stuff to say, I don't need to hold on to any of those things, and I don't need to hold on to animosity. I'm only going to hold on to love. Okay. And it is hard when somebody has done something that we are perceiving as wronging us. We've been wronged. We've been victimized. And we can choose how we want to hold that. Okay. Even in and I'm no fan of Charlie Kirk or any of that stuff, but to see his widow, for whatever all we want to talk about with that, and I don't, stand up and say, I forgive. That's very powerful. That's very powerful. Whether you like her, you don't like them, whatever, that is something that takes a lot of courage. And whether she meant it or she was just doing it for political gain, I don't know. I'm not inside that person's head. But I know that the ability to let go of those things heals us. It heals us. Okay, because when we hold on to those things, it's like that saying, you drink poison and expected the other person to die. So really choosing how we hold on to those things. So the fact that there is forgiveness and tranquility, and Sharon has said shluva for tranquility. So the fact that we have forgiveness and tranquility together makes so much sense. Makes so much sense. And it goes exactly with surrender, action, and faith, right? We surrender, we let go of all those things that we're holding that we don't need to hold. We take action on the things that are right for us to help us move forward on our path. You've heard me say it a million times. What do I need to know today to move myself forward on my path for the benefit of myself, my family, and others around? Okay. And then we take that leap of faith and we say, I know that whatever is going to happen, I'm going to have peace in my heart, and I'm going to have faith that I'm going to be taught how to fly. Okay. What a beautiful collection of cards today. This makes me so happy. So, and it's these kind of things that remind me, one, we're not alone. Okay. And two, that we are going to be okay. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. There's a lot. I mean, whether it's in this country or in Venezuela or Iran or Israel or Mexico, I mean, there is a lot of stuff going on. Ukraine, Poland, Russia. Woo, we can look in any direction. Swing a cat. Is that what they say? Don't swing a cat. Okay. We can look in any direction and find some drama, right? You can just look in your own backyard and find some drama, right? I'm on the board of my HOA. I'm so delighted when there's no drama, right? But we can see it if we choose to. I go looking for some. I don't want to. I don't recommend it. We go looking for drama, okay? Or we can move away from drama, okay? And trust that with faith, surrender, and action, and some tranquility and forgiveness that we're going in the right direction. And that even though humanity right now is in a time of, ooh, like in puberty right now, humanity is in puberty. I mean, doesn't it feel like sometimes that we're like the leaders of the world have got that burn book? I mean, it is just, it is just middle school and high school shit going on right now, right? But we're gonna get through it. We are. We're gonna get through it somehow, some way, because we are. So, and I just know that. All right, who needs cards? Who needs a card for themselves, for their own peace and tranquility, right? What do we need? Now, while you're typing in me in the comments, let me just say, you definitely want to come if you're available to come and see me in St. Pete next week. This coming weekend, Saturday and Sunday, I will be in St. Pete at the Coliseum for Spirit Fest. And I will not be doing the Soul Journey Sunday event that is that Sunday night because I will still be in St. Pete. But it is still worth it to get a ticket. So if you are wanting to see some amazing readers, healers, seekers, all kinds of things, for $50 on Soul Journey Sunday, you can buy your ticket. It's about an hour and a half to 2-hour event. It is for $50, you get 2 15-minute readings with wonderful people. They're all as wonderful as me, mostly. No, they're all amazing people. And so if you would like to have that, it's Soul Journey Sunday is this coming Sunday. I will not be there this time, but I will be in St. Pete and looking forward to seeing and meeting any of you that are in that area. So very, very excited. All right. So we have Sharon and Stephen and then Chris. Somebody needs to tell, hi, Stacey Claxton. And lots of people. All righty. So we're going to start with Sharon. All right. And we're sending some healing vibes over to Miss Sharon as well. And we've got a card. What does Sharon most need to know today to help her go forward on her path? This is impeccability. This is card number 28. 2 and 8 is 10. Now, 2 reminds us that we're not walking on the path by ourselves. And 8 reminds us that we have all the time in the world because everything that's happened has already happened. And we have that Akashic records that we know that we are in the writings and recordings of our own lifetimes. And so this is saying impeccability. So Sharon, this is not saying you're not being impeccable. It's just reminding you to be present. Okay. When we have the impeccability card, for me, it channels in about being impeccable with our words, which reminds us to clarify our intent, to clarify our purpose, where we're going, what we're doing, what we're saying, what do we really mean, and make sure we're speaking with clarity and honesty in our interactions. And again, none of that is an accusation that you are not, but it's asking you to clarify your sense of purpose. When we say be impeccable with our word, being impeccable with our purpose, it's like, well, what is our purpose? Where are we going? And I feel like that may be very appropriate for you because it feels like in recent weeks we've been talking about things of new direction for you and new purpose and what's next for you. And so this is really going to be a card that says, hey, it's time to get some clarity for you. So keep going in that direction, but it's time to maybe narrow the focus a little bit about what that next path is going to be for you. So hopefully that makes sense. All righty. Think before speaking, very important. Doing more of that lately. Yeah, absolutely. Go dig a little deeper, but absolutely. Okay. All right. So we have Sharon and we have Steve. All right. I think I get to see Steve this week, so that's always nice. All right. So we have adventure. Oh, I like this card because this is card number 1. So new adventures. And I feel like this is very appropriate because I know there's some things that are that you're embarking on of new adventures, new opportunities. And so this is really perfect for you, Steve. So as usual, your cards do seem to come in as confirmation cards, as things that are like, yes, this is something that we've talked about. And then this is what's either building on last week's card or something that is pointing you in the right direction. So this is adventure. So the thing about this card is about enjoying the journey and not feeling like you have to rush through it. Okay, so just take your time. Don't feel like you've got to push through and allow for that folding that we've been talking about, right? Allow for things to fold in. So, all right. So Chris, it's going to be Chris's turn now. All right, so let me put that in the Chris. It's your turn. I can't type either, Sharon. It's your turn. All right. Now I just heard that song in my head. It's my turn. All right. Chris. All right, this is abundance. Oh, I love this. Now, isn't that interesting? Oh, I have to go back. Okay, I have to go back. Stephen, because as I picked this abundance card, it's number one. And we can't have more than one number one in the deck. And so as I look at this, I apologize, Stephen. Your card is number 4. See right down in the bottom corner, your card is number 4, not number 1. So I take that back. But even still pretty low on the 1 to 10 of, new adventures, new chapters and such. But at the same time, we know you've heard me talk about number 4 a million times, all of you, about 4 legs of the chair, 4 legs of the table, how that gives us support and guidance as we are going forward. So I apologize for the discombobulation of the numbers, but Chris is got the card that is number 1. This is the abundance card. And so this is fantastic. See you Friday. So this is for Chris's card that says abundance, that this is this reminder that how much we are allowing abundance to come in has a lot to do with the lid on our thinking and the lid on our allowing of how much we're going to allow ourselves to collaborate with the universe and allow our mind and our whole path to expand into something more abundant. Okay, and so with the abundance, you see that there's all these balloons that are out there in the sky, and they're all going up. And then there's this one balloon that's still inside. That's like, hey, I'm bunk, bunk, bunk. Every time I see this card, I hear this in my head, bunk, bunk, bunk. It's like bumping its head up on the ceiling, like in a video game. It's like, oh no, we've got to get out there. We've got to get out there. And so this card reminds me, Chris, it says, in order for us to have that abundance, we have to be willing to get out there and get in the game. So we have to be willing to get out there. And so I know you've been working on that expansion. And so this is a confirmation card for you that says, listen, we've got to be willing to get in the game in order to go up. The expansion is here. It's here. It's waiting for us, the abundance. But we want to make sure that we're taking the lid off the thinking, right? And that we're allowing that possibility of expansion, because it's really easy for us to be like, oh no, not me. No, I don't. No, I don't need or deserve. Oh no, who would give that to me? Hell yeah, claim it. Absolutely. If you want it, ask for it. So this is one of the things about a new year. If you want it, ask for it. Be bold and be willing to ask for it. So, okay. So I believe in you. I believe in all of you. All right. Ellen Jane, this is miracles. I believe in miracles. This is card 34. So 3, more to the story. We're not, there's more that's involved in there. 4, we're supported, right? 4 legs of the table and chair. But 34 is 7, which tells us there's a change in direction. 7 is that change in direction. It's like a gentle change in direction. So this is the miracles card. It says, hey, look, there's clear sailing out on the horizon. But we've got to get through the storms first, okay? That says, listen, whatever that's going on right now, you're going to get through it. It's okay. We've got to just trust and remember into that faith card that we saw before, right? Where she's just leaping off into the, thing that says, I know, I got this, okay? And even if I don't got this, I know that somebody else is with me that does, okay? And so we have the miracles card that says, we're going to get through this. It's a little bit rough right now, Ellen, but we're going to get through it. And you just got to trust that a brighter day is coming. And this card is 7. So this reminds you that there is a change in direction. And then as you go forward in the change in direction, that is going to come into a smoother seas. Okay. So there is a smoother day coming. Okay. All right. So we have Ellen and is that everybody? Awesome. Oh, Stacy. Oh, we've got Stacy. Fantastic. All right. All right. Small crowd today. No worries. Thank you very much. The captions here suck, so I'll definitely watch the replay. I love your guts too. So no worries. All right. So Stacy, for you, transformation. Card number 49. And then look, she's going and becoming a butterfly. 49 is 14, right? 9 and 4. No, 9 and 4 is 13. 1 and 3 is 4. You've heard me say 4 multiple times already. So this is, Stacy, this is about transformation. This is about allowing with the universe to grow you into something more. Okay, so this really goes back to the folding that we've been talking about, right? We are surrendering, we are staying in action, we are moving ourselves forward, but we are allowing things to fold into our lives. Okay, we are allowing the transformation. Transformation is happening. This is absolutely going to be a transformational year. For so many of us, it is going to be a transformational year. But it is not necessarily a thing where like ripping off one head and sticking another head on, because ain't nobody needs that. But this is really about having this transformation about allowing things to fold into your life. Okay. So as you're going forward, Stacy, not to resist the transformations, allow these things to continue to unfold. And we're going back to that surrender and action that we talked about in the beginning. So Ellen says it makes perfect sense to her. That's fantastic. Because that's all I'm looking for, is if it makes sense for you, fantastic. The cards know what you need to hear. Okay. So I tell people all the time, in mediumship and psychic work, it doesn't have to make sense to me. If you understand it and it makes sense to you, fantastic, because that's all that matters. Because really, it's about the joy, right? So one last card that will wrap it all up for us together. This is the joy. This is card 33. So we've talked a lot about 3 today, about more to the story, that there's more to be unfolded, there's more to be discovered, right? And to allow ourselves to experience the unfoldment, to allow ourselves to experience the folding in of things coming into our lives, and to enjoy the journey of the unfolding, okay? Allowing things to be part of our lives, and that we're focusing on the joy of the situation, and we're not focusing on the, oh no, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, we're focusing on the joy of the situation, because as I said, we can look any direction right now, in any direction on the globe. You can look and you can find some drama, and you can find some reason to be like, oh, or you can look in any direction on the globe and you can find reasons to be, oh, yay, oh my gosh, so wonderful, so magnificent, so magical. Okay, so let's hold on to that one. Okay, so the joy card is going to be our ending card. I see Catherine, so we're going to do Catherine's card real quick, but we'll come back to that joy card in a second. So this card, Catherine, is beginnings, lots of beginnings. I love this card. It's so much fun with the bicycle and all the balloons. It reminds me of the Up movie. But this card is also number 7. Okay, and we just talked about number 7, about a change in direction. Okay, it's a gentle change in direction. It means things are coming to fold into your life, and it's our job to allow that to happen, right? And to stay in that place of joy. So Catherine, there's new things that are coming, and our job, again, is not to look down them and go, I don't know about that. Our job is to look at these things and say, hey, okay, things are coming into my life. There's a change in direction. There's a shift. I'm being called in new areas. Now, there's a difference. I want to talk really, really quick about called and pulled. When we are called, there is a feeling in the heart that is calling us to do something, calling us to move in a direction. Okay, pulled is where our attention, our ego is, in our mind, our brain is being pulled to say, oh, look at that news. Oh, look at that, meme or that video or what have you. Okay, that's pulled. Called comes from the heart. Okay, so as we're going forward, right, and as you are, all of us, it's January, we're all having new beginnings, to be able to say, where are we being called, not where are we being pulled? Okay, there is a difference. All right, and as we are being called, we will be called in joy. Okay, because remember, the universe operates on joy. The universe absolutely runs on love and gratitude. So we will be called in joy. And it's our job to stay and to hold on to that, to say, I may or may not like this situation. I don't like all of this, but I'm going to focus on the joy. Okay, so even just last night, we had this event. It was this really magnificent, beautiful event. Did it go exactly how I thought it should? No. Were there things I would have done differently? Yep. It's okay. Was it still a fantastic evening? Absolutely. Absolutely. And every time I found myself getting a little bit, because I worked in event production for, so every time I know, every time I thought to myself, I said, no, it's not about me. It's about the joy of celebrating a friend. And so we're going to stay in the place of joy, because it's very easy to think it's about me. And then we lose the joy, right? When we can remember that it's not about us. It's not about you. Look, he's got his little sweater with hearts on it today. That it's not about us. It's about staying in the joy. Then we can really shift the conversation. We remember that it's not about us. It's about staying in the joy. And when we put our focus on helping others, and this is where we started, right? With charity of service and giving out into the universe and knowing that the universe is going to give back to us. That's where we find the joy. Those are the bookends right there. Okay. Love it. I love it. I love spending time with you all. Are amazing, amazing human beings. I look forward to meeting you. If you're available to come and visit with me in St. Pete on Saturday and Sunday, I would love to meet you. Love to see you. And if not, I will see you right back here next Monday. And the Beyond the Lost podcast is tomorrow at 3:00. You can find the link on the A1R Radio, Psychic Radio Facebook page, or Moonstruck TV on YouTube. So look forward to seeing you all again soon. Have a great week. I'll see you on Monday. Bye.